Like any other well-adjusted adult, I love horror movies. I also love Legos. Unfortunately, Lego and horror movies don't really go together very well. Mostly because Legos are kids' toys and horror movies are not suitable for children. Understandably. Understandably. Understandably, LEGO doesn't really make a lot of horror-themed sets.
Nope.
The closest we're going to get to a LEGO horror movie set is probably Hidden Side and the old Monster Hunters theme. They did make a Jaws set, so there is hope. But I really like those cabin in the woods style horror movies. Those are some of my favorites. Fortunately, Legos do come in pieces, so we can make it ourselves, and that's exactly what I did. So just in time for spooky season, I made this...
It's not October, it's July.
It's July?
I was time traveling in Animal Crossing again.
Wait, why are we doing this now? Alright, so the first thing we got to do is build the base. And this is the largest build I've done for this channel, and haven't really built a base like this before. Usually I use base plates, but for this I decided to make the foundation out of Technic beams. That way it was nice and strong. And here it is. But I think it might be a little too big. So I took out the smaller section, and I think this is a much better size. I kept the small section together just in case I needed it later. Turns out, I didn't end up using it. Next I built some plates so that my minifigs were nice and yoked.
Yeah!
And then I added some plates to the base to make sure that it was strong too. I also added some bricks to the bottom just to make sure it was sturdy. And now we're ready to start adding the terrain and building the cabin. Now I already have an idea of what I want to do for the cabin, and I know the general measurements, so I went ahead and placed the post down. And I know some of y'all are gonna hate it, but that's okay. I think it's pretty cool, and I hope some other folks do too. Y'all find it out in the comments and let me know what you think when you see what I ended up doing. Alright, let's start putting the ground down. Hey, that rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Now here was my biggest problem on this project. I don't have near as many green plates as I needed for what I had in my head, especially wedge plates. I've got plenty of black, gray, and white, and red for some reason, but what you see here is about all I've got in green. I wanted to do a more textured ground, but unfortunately my spare parts had other plans. I was still able to kinda get what I wanted to do with some bricks and some slopes, but I really wanted the grassy area to look a lot more natural. But once that was done, it was time to build some trees. Speaking of trees, did you know that there's a tree in Georgia that legally owns itself? No joke, it's called the tree that owns itself, and it's got its own deed and everything. According to legend, a man loved the tree so much, he gave it its freedom. So now it just lives there, rent-free, like a leafy landlord. But that's not the only weird thing about trees. For example, bamboo is technically a grass, but it grows faster than almost any tree, up to 35 inches in one day. That's like a Yoda and a half. And this is kind of creepy. The trembling aspen in Utah isn't just a single tree, it's a clone colony called Pando. At over 80,000 years old, it's one of the largest and oldest living organisms on Earth. So yeah, trees. They're not just background decoration, they're landlords, speed demons, and ancient superorganisms. So respect the trees. They're quietly running the planet. And I built a couple different kinds. I even used that big old tree from the Forrest Gump video. But again, my parts are limited and I ran out of leaves, so I started using the preformed trees that LEGO makes, which saved a lot of time, but I would have liked to have built more trees. A couple more final touches on the ground here and we're almost done. And I made sure to put all the pieces that I didn't end up using away, because the funnest thing about LEGO is organization. Now here's where I lose some of y'all. I debated whether or not I should build a cabin specifically for this video. I thought long and hard about it, and I remembered that I already have a cabin put together that has a really cool feature that I'm not going to be able to replicate on my own. That's right, I grabbed the Loomy Bricks waterfall cabin and the deck, and I put it in place. Now some of y'all are going to be like, oh, that's not LEGO, but one, I don't have unlimited parts, and I know I don't have enough tiles and plates in the colors that I would like to really make this build come together. And second, and most important, this thing has a really cool feature. Stick around, some of y'all already know what it is, but stick around if you don't. It's gonna look great. But now that we've got our cabin in place, let's start populating the scene with some vehicles and maybe some minifigs. Every Cabin in the Woods movie has a group of friends. Not those friends, these friends. Anyway, every Cabin in the Woods movie has a group of friends that comes together at a cabin in the woods, you know, to spend the weekend, have a good time by the campfire, until one of them finds an evil book or something, and then it all goes wrong. And maybe a couple weird things will happen, but usually everything's fine. Until nighttime. Aaliyah thought it'd be a good idea to go out and watch the stars on the porch. Turns out she was wrong. Julian had a similar idea, but didn't account for the masked maniac who escaped from the local mental institution earlier that morning. Poor Savannah forgot her luggage out in the car. Not realizing it was a full moon, she fell prey to the local werewolf. And if that wasn't enough, a tree goblin saw it all, giggling the whole time. Olivia and Julian, Julian's jock twin brother, decided to explore the woods. Not a good idea. Not being local to the area, they didn't know that there were zombies hiding behind every tree. Stephanie thought she heard screams in the woods, so she wasn't paying attention to the giant flesh-eating plant waiting for her around the corner. Mia was about to eat a small meal before bed, but instead, she ended up being a snack for Morbius. Andrea was exhausted from driving everyone to the cabin, so she thought she'd grab a quick nap. Unfortunately for her, the nap became a nightmare. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, let me know down in the comments. It really helps a lot. Maybe like the video, share it with your friends, maybe even subscribe to the channel if you feel like it. But really, thank you so much for watching. And a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, especially Stan, Zach, Wes, Jim, and Ricardo. I'll see you on the next one.